Okay, so first things first, guys. How are you?
Really good,
We're doing
man.
great. Yeah. Just pulled into town.
This morning,
This morning.
Good to hear. So the playing tonight. Excited?
Yeah, we are excited. We haven't been here since last year, and we have very, very good memories of how the crowd treated us last year, so we're excited.
High expectations for tonight.
Yeah.
That's good. So before we talk about the more recent music, I'd like to jump back a little bit.
Sure.
And I'm gonna mispronounce this, but you grew up in Bloemendaal?
Yeah.
That's
You
perfect.
pronounced
Yeah.
it better than anybody else.
Alberta was
Yeah.
quite secluded.
Yeah.
I hear, how did music reach you? Because I read somewhere that you didn't have TV or radio.
Yeah, that kind of music didn't reach us until way later than the rest of the world, the whole radio and TV. But we had records. We had a record player that Mom and Dad had, and we had an artist named Buck Owens, the Everly Brothers on record, and Ricky Skaggs were the three main records we ever heard growing up.
And so were your parents quite musical?
Yeah, our mom and dad had guitars in the house, and we're actually 2 of 6 kids. So we've got 3 older sisters and another brother, and they're all very musical. So by the time I was born, there was already so much singing and guitar playing in the house. So it was pretty natural to just start playing.
Our family recorded our first album 2 years before he was born.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
What is your first memory then of the family kind of making music together?
Probably practicing.
Yeah, exactly.
Either around the table or in the living room, because we were all going to sing together in church that Sunday, you know.
Yeah, or Christmas.
Or Christmas, or...
In our town, every Christmas we would sing a song by an artist named Boney M. I don't know if you ever heard of Boney M. Yeah?
He was Dutch actually.
Really?
Or not the guy who sings, but it was lip synced, but the guy who performed was Dutch.
It was lip sync?
Yeah.
Well,
Boney M, right?
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's lip synced.
So like the face of Boney M is not the singer?
No. Or
Oh, wow.
maybe I'm bursting the bubble.
No,
that's
great.
amazing.
That's pretty cool.
We don't really know much about Boney M, but
Yeah.
we sure did have that Christmas album.
Yeah.
And man, Mom spun that thing a lot every year.
Mary's Boy Child was the name of the song that every Christmas day our family would sing together.
Well, maybe we're talking about a different Boney M. I don't
Are you
know.
talking about Bon Iver?
No. It's this the
Boney.
What were the songs called again? The Rivers of Babylon and that kind of songs, I think.
I don't know.
Maybe we're talking about something.
We'll find out. I'll look it up
We'll
later.
look it up afterwards.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Anyways, but so very musical. When did it kind of become more than just something you did with a family?
A long time ago, honestly.
Yeah.
We, some neighborhood guys that could play guitar and drums and all that, we started a band in 1997, and we were called High Valley already back then. There were 6 of us at the time, and we're just the 2 that were crazy enough to stick with it for such a long time.
Well, that's an interesting way of putting it then, because what made you stick with it over the years? And then I think that's kind of some of what the album deals with as well. So
Yeah.
I think it's been easy to stick with it for us because, I mean, I joined the band later than Brad because when the band started, I was only 7 years old. I didn't even know how to play anything.
Sure.
I wanted to be in the band, but I didn't have anything to bring to the table.
You wanted to whistle in the band.
I wanted to, that was the only thing I knew how to do, so I would like fantasize about whistling in the band. Which
dreams come true, yeah.
Well, I do whistle on one song on the record, which is unbelievable.
It's called IBUB. Listen for it.
So proud of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I mean, it's been pretty easy to stick with it for us because it's like every single year it gets a little bit better, you know. So there's like this expectation and anticipation of things getting better slowly over the years. I mean, it's been good for us.
Right. Well, I want to get into some of the new songs then. Because if we take I Ain't Changing, that's very much about that period of where you start thinking about that dream. So
definitely.
How did that translate itself to that song?
Yeah, I think, Nashville's crazy. You get in a room with people you've never met before almost every day to write songs, right? It's sometimes you're writing with people you're good friends with. Next time your publisher says, hey, I've got you with Connie Harrington today, who I wrote that song with, and together with our producer. And we had never met Connie before, and she says, tell me about yourself. And we go back and forth telling each other about ourselves, and she found the story interesting, and she asked some of the questions like, so if you grew up in that kind of lifestyle and now you're in these big cities all the time, how does that translate? And I said something like, man, not that much has changed. Our surroundings have changed, but that's about the only thing that's changed. And the opening line says, I grew up on a tractor, and now I'm in a big city, but I ain't changing. So.
Well, part of it as well, because you mentioned small town talk and that kind of stuff. So what's the reaction to you guys saying, hey, we want to pursue music? Yeah,
I'm glad you caught that line. I don't care. I don't care what they're saying, right? There's those people in our town that definitely are kind of yapping their mouths about whatever they think we're up to. Some people think we're in Hollywood. Like, people don't distinguish from different big cities. They think if you go to a big city, it must be Hollywood. But most people in our town are so supportive. Right. You would have to take a tiny percentage of our town to find that. Most of them are just super supportive and proud of.
Haters are always the loudest. Even though they're a minority, and so that part of the song, I guess, is just about a couple loud voices that may have thought that we were crazy for pursuing something like this, And
now they got to be in one of our songs, so congratulations.
And then you mentioned the haters, so in Don't Stop the song, you also so never let the haters bring you down. So was there maybe ever a time where your passion was tested in a way, or where you had doubts?
Every day of our lives, definitely. Don't Stop, I wrote about my kids.
Okay.
I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, and the guy I wrote it with, our families would go to the beach together in Florida, and from where we recorded 4 of the songs on our album, including Dear Life, you could literally look down on the beach while the kids were playing and our wives were playing with them. And both of my son and my co-writer's son both think they're going to be professional American football players, quarterbacks. And my son had asked me this question. He said, hey, Daddy, can rappers make their own schedules? And I said, sure. And he said, maybe if I'm a quarterback in the NFL, while I do my rap albums, I'll make sure my concerts are on different days than the game. And we were just talking about how you don't want to, obviously people are going to crap all over your dreams, and we were saying how it's our wish for our kids to keep them like that as long as possible, that they just dream so big and don't ever stop dreaming no matter what anybody's saying, right? So it's an innocent thing that currently they're dreaming such huge dreams, but we literally were watching them, throw the football on the beach, feel like they had made it.
Right.
And we wanted to make sure they'd never stop. And also Ben, my co-writer, his mom, every day, since he's moved to Nashville, he's been there, I think, for 14 years. And his mom will call him, and she'll always tell him at the end of the phone call, whatever you do, don't stop. So that's why we put that in the song.